Well, front panel's back on, everything's powered up. Sadly, we're not quite out of the woods yet. The amp does work, but it has a problem. It's not supposed to pop and click like that when you turn the volume up, of course. And that means that likely our volume control IC is bad. And right over here, it's a TC9212P. It's in a 20-pin dip package, and it's on the front panel. Here, I can actually grab signal as it comes in and out of the front panel and use an AF tracer to determine what's what. In addition to the noise, we get quite a lot of distortion if we feed it full scale input. I have to attenuate the input about 20 decibels to get undistorted output. And it's not like a usual clipping distortion, it's just staticky and poppy and occasional clicks. It sounds odd. It's not what you'd expect from an overdriven preamp, so there's something else going on inside this unit. The power amp is just fine. Everything's working great there. A lot of power, by the way. A lot of power. But we've got to figure out what's going on the front panel. I suspect the volume IC is bad. However, we can test it without paying an arm and a leg for one of these volume ICs. The center and rear volume uses the same chip, and I haven't been getting pops and clicks from the center and rear. So I'm going to swap those ICs around and see if the problem also swaps position. If it does, I'll order another volume IC. They're about $10, unfortunately, which is exorbitant for a small IC like that. Also, I've got cooling fan trouble. It does run, it's just noisy. Panasonic put a strange cooling fan mechanism in here. It's not a brushless motor, it's a brushed motor like you would find in a CD player. I believe it's a 5-volt motor, and the way it works is the controller pulses it, and when it stops pulsing it during the pauses, it measures the voltage that the motor generates while spinning, and that's how it determines whether it's spinning or not. It's a rather interesting control system. I would have put a regular computer fan with an RPM monitoring wire, but no, they did that. And unfortunately, because it's looking for the voltage produced by the motor's momentum, it's rather picky about what motor you use. And that's unfortunate because I can't get that motor anymore. I can get a really close substitute though, which is also made by Panasonic. It's essentially the same motor. Unfortunately, it's $20. Yeah, $20 for a small CD player motor. Outrageous. If I have to spend $30 in parts on this, that's gonna cut into the profit because this is not going to be a really expensive unit. It can't be. It is a piece of mid-90s Technics gear. It's decidedly, well, mid-range equipment. That's what we call mid-fi gear. It would be a nice starter gear for somebody. It does have a phono input and a pretty decent phono circuitry, which is right back in there. You see, they even labeled it for us, phono EQ. How nice of them. In theory, you could upgrade the op amp if you wanted to. I really don't see the need in a unit like this, but it is reasonably clean. You might be able to hear a difference. I don't know. If that's something you want, if you want to buy this unit after it's repaired and that's something you want, well, we can discuss that. It does have some little cosmetic issues. A couple little scuffs on the top here and there. Some spots there, but it doesn't look all that bad. I mean, especially if you want this for just a secondary room system, or even better, a garage system that can blow you out of the garage. This would be great. It is 130 watts per channel into stereo mode. In surround mode, it does 4x70. I don't anticipate anybody using it as a surround receiver, considering that Dolby Pro Logic is woefully obsolete. But you can still use Dolby Pro Logic if you want to, but I don't suggest it given the cost of nice digital receivers these days. Anyway, I think this is one that's going to live out the rest of its days, which will be numerous after I've done all my repairs to it, of course. I think it will be serving mostly stereo duties, which it does quite nicely. I rock the room with it once I set the volume, of course. Yeah, I'm going to have to figure out that and the fan, but everything else is cleaned up. It cleaned up fairly nicely aside from those spots. Looks decent. It's got a lot of power. So I think I'm going to go ahead and repair it and put it in inventory. I think somebody's going to like it.